What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's start.
He's on the ground. So there's. Who is it? My mom!
This man has just been told that his wife has been murdered. However, he never could have expected that it was his daughter that was responsible.
Oh my goodness.
She's going to jail forever. Wife's dead.
Oh
I was too.
no.
On March 3rd, 2020, Ohio police responded to a 911 call at an address in Akron and found Brenda Powell on the floor of her kitchen with 30 stab wounds in her neck. Her
Oh
daughter,
my goodness.
Sydney, was in the house at the time and told police this was a home invasion turned brutal murder. But even though
30
Sydney was injured as
times?
well, there were still questions left unanswered. Things
Oh
weren't
my
adding
God.
up for the cops. Brenda was on the phone with one of Sydney's college professors at the time she was attacked, and during that call, she suddenly started screaming before the phone went dead. When he called back, the voice on the other end of the phone claimed to be Brenda, but the college professor knew this was a lie and suspected Sydney was pretending to be her mother. Fearing the worst, he called 911 and the first responders arrived in no time.
No. Oh my goodness.
This scream, combined with being called to the location, is enough probable cause for the police to forcefully enter the home. And this is what was waiting for him when he walked inside the house. Hacker Police! Hacker Police!
Oh. Oh, I didn't understand at this point. Is she telling the story about for her mom, or is she pretending for a police officer? What's going on? Is she telling? Okay, I didn't understand.
Where's your mom at? Okay, stay right
No! No, there's so much blood. No, please!
You don't act like this. You know you did it.
R9, get that 32 rolling here quick. We got a female down, blood all over the place. Sergeant Smart, you just got a crime scene. Take her outside. You got she's blood all over. I don't know. She's breathing. Secure the scene. She looks like a 22. She looks like she's been down for a while. There's blood all over the place. There's a knife by her head and stuff like that. There's a huge pool of blood. No, I think she just walked in on it. There's a broken window in the back. So if you can just put up some crime scene tape. As soon as AFD gets here, they're going to pronounce her, I'm sure. It turns out Brenda hasn't just been stabbed. She's also been hit over the head with an iron skillet.
Oh my goodness. Ish. Oh, I don't have words to explain this. You know, it's not easy. He think your mom was this. You know, she's a devil. I don't have words to explain this. You know, she is actual devil.
And her injuries are so devastating that her life hangs in the balance.
Hold on, we gotta figure out what's going on. Come on. Is she gonna be okay? Come on.
Oh my goodness. You know what she's doing, and then
You need
she's
to cooperate with me,
okay.
alright?
Oh my God.
Huh?
I want my dad.
What happened? What's going on? What's going on?
We heard a bang. We heard a bang. And she told me to get out. And then I heard screaming. So I came back. And she was on the ground.
You know, she's a good storyteller. You heard what she say at this point, at this minute. She make this kind of story, and she's a good storyteller. You know, how did she make this kind of story at this point? Oh my goodness.
Okay, you
I
heard a
ran
bang.
out back. There was a bang. Someone broke in.
What is your name?
Sydney.
Are you cut?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you're cut
I
somewhere.
don't think so.
Yeah, your hand.
Just
No,
stop.
I was helping her. I grabbed her.
Alright, stop.
I grabbed the knife.
Yeah. What's going on?
Oh
I
my
don't know.
God. I
We
hope
just
he's
got
gonna die.
The dad,
Okay, what's...
No
I
way.
don't know. I don't know.
Daddy!
Oh my
Sydney
goodness.
appears to have been injured as well, is suffering from shock, and struggling to hold herself together. Even the arrival of her father, Steve Powell, doesn't calm Sydney down. Police need to lock down the crime scene and try to figure out exactly what's happened.
The back window's broken in!
Oh.
So you're gonna have to
Daddy!
inside there. So
I don't know. She was there with so
You know everything. You know what you did. Don't pretend at this point, you know. I feel sad for him, but she's pretending, you know.
much blood!
okay, she's got
Just
minor.
stop.
Inside
Oh
the
my
house,
goodness.
there's a broken window and the knife used to stab Brenda. But something
Oh my
isn't
God.
quite right, as the broken window had blood dripped on the outside of it, leading police to conclude it could have only been broken after Brenda had been stabbed. However, Sydney claimed that the intruder used the window to enter and was broken before the attack, leading to the first of many inaccuracies in her story.
Interesting. Okay, do we know who, where, which way?
That's the younger guy. I'm looking through here and I can see pictures. And there's a whole basement set up for what looks
Yep, hey, sorry, I'll call you right back. Bye. Alright, let me go report that.
Yeah, there's got a little man. It's probably her brother.
Well, see if we can find out who else lives here.
With such a serious case with so
Oh my
many
God.
unanswered questions, the cops spend some time talking with homeowners nearby. They have to try and collect as much information as possible, but right now, the only person making any sense is
You know, I feel sad when I see him. His, you know, that's difficult to her. You know, seeing your wife at this point and your daughter did do this kind of thing. You know, that's difficult to believe. That's unbelievable.
Sydney's father.
Okay. Do you live here, sir?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my wife and there's my daughter.
Oh my
She'll
God.
be 20 in March. 19 years today. Is she coming out?
No, not yet, sir. Just can't hang out.
Sydney, can you tell me what happened? Huh? Sydney. Sydney.
On its way?
Yeah, it's coming.
From where?
Yeah, that's them right there. I can hear them.
I feel sad for him. I swear. That's difficult to do.
Hey, boss. Hey, down there.
While trying to piece this puzzle together, police speak to Steve Powell and one of Sydney's friends down at the station, in the hopes that they may be able to help them shed some light on exactly what happened. But, unfortunately for Steve, he has absolutely no idea Sydney is the attacker, or even
Yeah,
worse,
that's-
that his wife is in critical condition at the hospital.
Oh my goodness. You know, that's too much difficult to explain this, you know, for him here about his daughter.
And likely won't survive. Something detectives will have to break to him sooner than later.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, okay.
He said there was a call, went out, a distress call from the University of Mount Union where my daughter was going, and it said, female in distress. I said, well, that's funny because Brenda's there, my wife. So I called Brenda. And it rings on the cell phone. No answer. I call Sydney back. Rings. No answer. I call Brenda back. Ring. No answer. I'm pacing around. I call Gene back. And I'm on the phone with him telling him there's no answer. My doctor calls me back. I said, oh, Mom's on the phone with Mount Union. I said, well, cops are on the way. And she went, there was just a break-in, and she just started going off. She said, well, there's been somebody broke into the house. There's blood everywhere. She was hysterical and
Oh
crying.
my God.
So at first, you talked to her, she said that your wife was on the phone with Mount Union.
Yes. And as soon as I said, cops are on the way, the hysterics started.
Is she still attending?
Well, as far as we knew up until today, yes, but apparently not for the last, I don't know, maybe couple weeks.
What Sydney hadn't told her parents was that she'd been kicked out of college weeks before this happened, and had been lying to them ever since. But she did tell her friends.
So at this point, maybe this one is the reason, you know, she hide this. I don't know. Let's watch it. Anyways.
Including Lauren, who lived in the same dorm.
Now, we understand that Sydney was your roommate at Mount Union?
Yes, she was for last year and then this year until she left.
And so you've been friends ever since your sophomore freshman year at St. B?
Mm-hmm.
Go over each other's houses, everything like that?
Yep. Well, she started off in exercise science freshman year, her first semester, but then she didn't like the classes, so she switched over to psychology and sociology, but then she didn't
Why?
like that, so this year she switched to education, and then she didn't like that either, and that's one of the reasons she left, is because she really couldn't find what she liked. I think she struggled in her classes. I don't think the grades were the best, but she didn't really tell me that, because I wasn't really struggling. I think she kept a lot of stuff hidden, because when we were just talking or with our friends, she always seemed happy. Like, she seemed okay, like I said, I couldn't tell until...
You know, maybe this one make her to do this kind of thing because she is hiding everything from her friends and her families. You know, that makes stress. Maybe, you know, she is faking. She look like happy, but she's not. You know, maybe that makes her to do this kind of thing because she's too much stressed. Maybe.
Till the end where she was kind of just like struggling and she kind of was sad and just like, Lauren, I don't know what to do. I think she felt like everybody around her kind of had figured out what they wanted to do and she hadn't.
Establishing Sydney's state of mind leading up to the incident will help detectives find out if she simply snapped or if this was premeditated. The issue is, Sydney is going to claim that she actually has no idea what happened throughout this entire case. In fact, she's going to base her entire defense on the fact that she blacked out and even claim insanity using this. This means the cops still have no solid proof that Sydney is the guilty party, but they're starting to discover she was hiding secrets from just about everyone.
Well, I know she's had anxiety for a while, but I think those this last semester, like starting coming back in January, is when it really started, that she was kind of more like upset because she really didn't know what she wanted to do. Like, my friends and I were worried for her because we didn't know what was going on because she didn't tell us, and then
Lauren knew something was wrong and tried to
What's the
help.
problem?
At first, she had no reason to doubt her and was as supportive as any friend could have been at a time like this. But even Lauren grew suspicious of Sydney's evasive behavior.
I could tell she was getting more upset, like more sad. And I told her, like, I'm here, like, you can tell me, I'm here for you. If you need anything, I'm here. But she never really opened up until she was leaving and saying that she was struggling with school and that she was kind of trying to figure out what was going on, and that's when I started to try to help her.
Let's talk about this. You're her best friend, and I know this is difficult, but tell us about her relationship with her parents.
Her and her parents had a really good relationship. Like, her mom and her were best friends. Probably, like, they did everything together. Like, one of the reasons she went home was to be with her mom. They were always close. She never said anything bad about her mom. She never ever talked about having an argument with her mom. Like, I can't recall every time she'd be going home, she's like, I can't wait to see my mom. Or when she goes home for weekends, she's like, oh, my mom wants me to come home so we can hang out and like watch movies. And she loves.
You know, she's pretending, she's faking her life because. So if she love her mom and she spend a lot of time with her, you know, if they have a good relation with her mom, so how all this happen? So she's faking, you know, at this point she's faking.
Like she loved being home.
By this point, Sydney is becoming wrapped up in a lie that she's going to struggle to escape from. But instead of owning up, she decided to make out as if college just wasn't working out for her and tried to convince her parents that they could save a lot of money on college bills if she left to pursue other things.
What's going on? You're not going to school. She goes, I'm overwhelmed in school, and I don't really like what I'm doing, and it seems like it's a waste of my time and your money. I said, well, but that's all part of it. Nobody's going to tell you you need to do what you're doing when you're 20. You need to figure it out.
But that's not what she told her friends.
So when she's talking to you about, the problems she's having at school, did she mention that she tried talking to her parents?
Yeah, I know she definitely, especially when she left, she talked to her mom about the
my
they
god.
kind of made that decision together to leave Mount. Like, she told them that.
Lauren's suspicion.
You know, at this point, I don't know. Maybe she will have a reason why she didn't tell for her families or her friends, you know. But this the point. She's faking everything. She's faking with her friends and families, you know. This make her stressed. Okay.
Were proved to be right, and Sydney was lying to her friends. But at the same time, she was also lying to her parents, who knew
Yeah.
nothing of her problems at college
Maybe
until
this
they
the
received a
problem.
phone call from Sydney's professor. So Steve and Brenda began crisis talks to find out exactly what was going on with their daughter.
So I went back, I called my wife, called my daughter's phone, she picks up, she was working down in Children's, and she goes, what's wrong? And I basically told her, I said, you know, I mean, Sydney, I think the reason we can't get on is because she's unenrolled, she hasn't been going to school.
Sydney became wrapped up in two sets of lies. The story she told her friends and the story she told her parents. Failing grades aren't the end of the world, and any parent would support their child through such difficult times. But it seems she thought her parents would be mad and couldn't bring herself to tell them she'd been asked to leave the college.
Yeah, we asked her she was doing, and she said she was good. Like, she acted like what we would see as normal. Like, she was laughing, she was having fun. She said she got jobs, and she worked at the Hacker Rubber Ducks. She's worked there for a couple seasons, so she was gonna go back there. And then she also said she was looking for another job, and like everything was good, and she was trying to figure out like for next year and all this stuff. And she was gonna talk to her parents about housing, trying to come back to Mount.
Once she got to my union, or anytime actually, did Sydney ever drink alcohol, or she did? Okay, just kind of describe that for us.
She liked to drink. There was an incident in the fall of our freshman year where she drank too much, and she wasn't alcohol poisoned, but she did end up in the hospital. Her mom came and got her at like 2 in the morning. Usually after that, her and I were together, and if she did drink, I usually kind of like slow her down after I'm kind of her limit because she's small.
Detectives.
You know, at this point, maybe nobody understand her. I don't know why she's acting like this, but if she drunk, if she lie her families and friends, you know, that's not easy to do this kind of thing. Maybe she is stressed, you know. Maybe I don't know. I'm trying to understand her, but anyways.
Suspect Sydney snapped when Brenda was on the phone to her college professor and tried to cover up her lies by silencing her mother forever. The issue is, again, Sydney is claiming that she doesn't remember a thing, but it seems that she made some crucial and careless mistakes that let the detectives pick up the pieces. Sydney grabbed an iron skillet
Oh my
and beat
God.
her mother into submission before plunging a steak knife into her neck over 30
That's-
times. She then impersonated her mother on the phone and staged a break-in to try and cover her tracks.
I made it in far enough to see the back fin. When you go into the front door, you come around the kitchen, you go in, you can see there's like a pass-through between the kitchen and the family room. Around the back of the house, I could see the right hand, there's two big sliding windows. I could see that window was literally, it looked like it was busted. Went down the hallway probably about 2 feet, just you could see blood all the way down the hallway.
Sadly, Brenda didn't survive her ordeal and passed away
Oh
in
my
hospital.
God.
The county
Yeah.
medical examiner came to the conclusion that Brenda had died from
I don't know how to, you know, I feel sad for him. I feel sad for her dad, you know. He lost his wife, and I don't know how they explain for him. I don't know.
blunt force
That's
trauma to
difficult,
her
you
head
know?
and stab
That's
wounds to
difficult
her
to
neck.
think,
They
no?
ruled her death a homicide. This left detectives to deliver the tragic news to Steve that his
Oh my
wife was
goodness.
dead.
Well, not really bad news. Your wife passed away.
Oh my God. I swear I feel sad for him. Oh God.
Detectives investigated Sydney's claims that an intruder was responsible, but their findings didn't seem to match her story, and the evidence was painting a different picture altogether. This left detectives with one final devastating task to carry out, telling Steve that his
Oh
own
my
daughter
goodness.
killed
That's
his
so
wife.
sad, you know.
What happened? I don't think someone broke into the house. I don't know if your wife and daughter got into an argument, got physical. I mean, the window was broken, but there's no forced entry into the house.
here.
Would you like one of us to just go be with your son?
I don't know. Take your time. There's no rush for anything.
It's simply impossible to imagine the turmoil Steve must be going through at this moment. His wife murdered and his daughter the main
Oh my
suspect.
God.
Finally, Steve realizes the detectives might be right, leaving him to deliver the news to his son.
Clearly, they think Sydney did this.
Oh my goodness.
Alice, too.
Yeah. They lost to, that's the saddest truth, you know. He lost his wife and his daughter, you know. That's saddest truth. That's so sad.
She's going to jail forever.
Yeah.
Wife's dead.
You know, they're going to do everything
Oh my
they can to
goodness.
make sure that they find out exactly what happened. Nothing's definite as of yet. They still have to do their investigating.
Where's Andrew? He just sit out there by himself, or is he with?
Family, they're supposed to be.
Well, yeah, I don't want anybody in here with me.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody else with me in here. I'll sit down. That's legal.
Yeah, that's the
You don't want any of
I don't want any of you. No, I just want Andrew.
You just come and get us when you're ready,
I will.
okay?
um
You and Andrew? They don't know. They haven't told me. They're investigating.
Sydney was arrested and charged for the murder of Brenda Powell. She claimed insanity at first, saying she had almost no memory of what happened, including hitting Brenda with the cast iron skillet and fatally stabbing her. The jury
she's
didn't
lying,
believe Sydney,
obviously.
and she was found guilty on 2 counts of murder, 1 count of felonious assault, and 1 count of tampering with evidence. Sydney Powell was sentenced to life in prison with a
Obviously,
chance of
that's
parole
expected.
after 15
Yeah.
years.
It's all about for today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.